Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, then I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters, and we ain't got nothing to hide.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome into Pregaming here on Sports Money, Monday to Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern, where we leverage tools, technology, and our expertise to try to make informed betting decisions. Hopefully everyone's had themselves a pleasant day. Some Champions League action. 1-1 with premium picks today for the Champions League. However, they were plus money plays, so we turned a little bit of a profit. We are grinders. We are prospectors. We are sifting that dirt and cold-ass water out of the pan looking for that gold, and we found some today, so we'll take it. Every day that we continue in the black is a good day. Yesterday, on the other hand, was not a terrific day. We found ourselves down about 1.5 units net on the day. So we're grinding. We're right back into grinding. I can't wait for some sports to come back because, actually, that's not true. That's not entirely true from a unit count. But I can't wait for some sports to come back. Tomorrow we'll have one NBA game on deck, and it looks like a barn burner. It's going to be late, and it's going to be Charlotte and the Lakers. So we'll still continue to grind as we do on a regular basis. Let's go through quickly. We've got a 6:30 spot, so we want to make sure that we get some action out there. Plenty of time to play it, plenty of time to get going out there. But I thank you guys all for coming in here, ready to rock with us. And get ready, get set, because we're going tonight live. Razor Sharp Picks, Sports Money. Going to go out there and watch some college hoops, some late-night college hoops action. And we're going to be over on Kick. So you know what that means. We'll be watching the games together. Okay, yesterday was a pretty full card yesterday, all things considered. No, let me see. Let me take that back. What the hell? What was yesterday's date? The 17th. I'm just going into bet stamp. Mikey Money's where I track my action. You can see the record. It's not entirely a true depiction. It doesn't count. Well, it doesn't count spots they don't have, which unfortunately in the Four Nations Cup, I don't think anybody's been doing it better than we have. I'll stand by it again. Look, USA didn't cover the puck line last night. They lost outright. Sweden does not get over 2.5 goals on the total. Nailed that thing. Split off. 2-1 final. It was crazy because it was in the first period. Austin Matthews didn't play, so no scores for Austin Matthews, but it's a push. So we ground out another W in the Four Nations Cup. One game left. That's going to be Thursday. We're going to be live streaming Thursday with the Four Nations Cup, and we'll be over on Kick doing that what we do during the week. So down the board, though, mixed results. Yeah, we cashed the early play, the premium play with the Maryland Eastern Shores under. Arkansas Pine Bluff are terrible. They really are terrible. 75-61 loser. Murray UNI. Busted three-pointer at the end. That meant nothing. And cost us the cover in that spot. We did cover in the Grambling under. Now, listen, Grambling gets the job done. A lot of people on Grambling. Respect. You won. Congratulations. They don't cover in that dog spot over 2.5. We talked about it. But they did last night. So we'll give them their dues. We'll give them their kudos. But what's most important, no team in the history of the database has that 16 straight overs tracking trend going on. And that continues because Grambling did not go over the total. We cashed our under 142.5. Plays alive tomorrow in Temple. Temple's going for 16 straight overs. You know what we're going to be doing. You already know what we're going to be doing. Northwestern State, Lamar. Busted us up. 140 points. We had 132.5 on the under, did not cash. UNC Central. Doesn't matter how you played that one, you lost. whether you played Central as the home team or the under. We did get Nichols. Nichols State's not a state, but they did cash for us. They won by 16 points. They were minus 9.5. So they got it done. And Virginia, Duke. Duke beat them up. Should have expected Duke just to be. We talked about these two teams going in different directions, and Virginia just couldn't hang on. 132.5. They got 62 points, but Duke puts up an 80 spot and gets us done. How about this Utah game? If you bet on this Utah game, I was looking at Utah and I was looking at the under. We gave out the Utah spot minus 2.5. Comes back late to cash for us. That was a live bettor's late night dream. It didn't matter if you were betting unders. It didn't matter if you kept going on Utah as the favorite. Everything came through for us in that Utah game. But, hey, that's the way we grind out about a quarter unit loss in the day. So sometimes it's frustrating. Sometimes it's frustrating. You know what else is frustrating? When I pop open the count video and I see 41 or 50 likes. Come on, you guys, smash that thumbs up. We had a record number last night of people watching this thing, and it sucks to grind out basically a nothing day. But how about that thumbs up button? You guys know we got a 6:30 play. We got 19 minutes, but we can't go anywhere until we smash that thumbs up button. You do that by closing the chat. You hit that thumbs up, then you pop the chat back open, and then we get on with the show. Please take a second and do that for us right now. Okay. Let's not forget tonight, Razor Sharp Picks VB MMA will be doing the UFC breakdown for UFC Seattle. I think it's 11 fights. The playbook is open. We're working on it for the members of Sports Money. Trying to break down all our early looks that we can use to cook the books and give that information to you guys as soon as possible so that you can take action and get the most CLV out of those plays possible. Big week ahead. But again, we got plays to get into right now. So let's do that, you guys. Let's go into this thing. Let's see what you guys got going on in the chat. Let's put those plays out there. Shout out to Gerald Jones. He's the first commenter. Joe T has been on a temporary timeout, but he told me he'll be back in action again around this weekend. So we're looking forward to Jover. And we got Gerald Jones coming and taking over the number one commenter place tonight. He's got Queens. He's got the first half -8, and he's on a run. He's got a 10-6 run going on right now. Queens first half -8.5. Queens first half -8.5. All right. I'm writing it down. Gerald Jones, let's go. Shout out to W. Nicholas Handy. Stop Geo Engineers in the house. Paul and Boats. The Futon Bets is coming in. Syracuse team total under against Pitt. Boston College and Pitt are huge rivals with this Syracuse team. I was just thinking that this when I was looking at it earlier. I'm like, man, these teams are playing again. Let's go. I get down with that. Futon Bets. Paul Boats have smashed a like and subscribe. Absolutely, you guys. If you haven't done so already, do become a subscriber here. If you're commenting in the chat, I know you're a subscriber. You have to be. That's the way it works with this chat. But we appreciate all you guys, regardless if you could take this time to get that thumbs up, subscribe, and hey, why not become a member? We've got member plays coming out there, premium member plays on the regular for everybody trying to get paid with some of this lunchtime action. The way it works, when we're not live and there's some action that we like, we're going to give you guys that action. A lot of you guys asked for a different way to get more plays from us, and because it's just sometimes not feasible or humanly possible to do more shows, nor does it make sense to just do a show for 2 plays or 1 play. Maybe it does, but it takes time. It takes time to put this production on, and so we've assembled and said, hey, here's a great way for us to give these plays that we like for you guys. And all that means is trying to get more cash, trying to put more money in our pockets, leveraging those tools and technology that we've subscribed to and that we are happy to give you guys access to is our community. Sneaky Ninja likes Villanova +8.5. Statistically playing better right now. Connecticut is 1-6, one favored between 1 and 10. Let that. Jerry Davis is glad I lost my under. Dana Delp likes Ohio Central Michigan. I like that play. I get down with that. There's a big trend rolling on that over in that play tonight. Keith's in the house. He likes Tennessee State +3. Oh, boy, Keith. Are we going head-to-head again? We're going to probably be going head-to-head. It's not an official play yet, but we're probably going to be going head-to-head again. I look forward to it. Maybe I'll try to get back to even tonight. Sneaky Ninja, 1-6 ATS, he says. A little correction out there. Yeah, Jerry Davis likes UT Martin. Yeah, that's the spot. That's my favorite spot. That's my favorite spot. We have another one tonight as well that we're going to play and take action on. Eastern Michigan for Robert McCormick to round out the action. Thanks. I will. Okay. Guys, we're going to have a short show tonight because, again, we have the live stream. I got a few things that I've got to do from a time management perspective. There's only so many hours in the day. So I want to give you guys this content. I want to give you guys these plays. And then I got some stuff to do, and we'll be back and we'll be assembled for this late night card. Starting at 9 p.m. So we'll probably pop off, I'd imagine, around 8:40-ish, 8:45 over on Kick. You'll find the boys on Kick. Let's kick things off with this Jacksonville, Florida Gulf Coast game here. I'm excited for the time that we're going to get more plays back here, but, sadly, baseball starts on Thursday. These seasons are finding their way to a close. Jacksonville opened up a +2.5. It's moved to a +3 in some spots. Yep, 50-50 bets. 50-50 bets. 66% of the cash are whacking in on Jacksonville. And what's the line doing? What is the line doing? It's moving. It's got a +3. So, public road dog. And it's making it more enticing to bet Jacksonville. On the total, we've seen this thing kind of oscillate with 85% of the bets and 86% of the cash on the over. What's it doing? It's gone up and down a point. It went up to 141.5. It come back down to 140.5. Jacksonville Dolphins, 16-10. Them Dolphins are. Dolphins on the road are a good spread team. Not a great spread team, but a good spread team. They're 8-6. Florida Gulf Coast, 5-7 against the spread at home, but it's that. I don't know if it's a difficult gymnasium to play in or not, but the unders prevail when Florida Gulf Coast is at home. It's 4-8 to the under. Look, somehow Jacksonville snuck 3 wins in a row in there. I mean, they're 10-4 in the conference, and it's 9-5 for Florida Gulf Coast. So this is a big game. I'm willing to dismiss I'm not willing to dismiss the fact. Let me take a step back. Northern Alabama blew out Jacksonville just the other day. Florida Gulf Coast. This is the spot that we love. Back-to-back road losses now coming home. That's it. It's as sweet and as simple as it can be. They were favorites against Austin Peay. They lose 73-60. They roll into Lipscomb. Is there a worse name in sports than Lipscomb? I don't know why that just hit me. It's awful. Lipscomb. I don't know. It's got a lot of thoughts rattling through this cage of mine here. They're 7.5-point dogs, and they got smoked. They got walloped. But they got Jacksonville coming back home now. Florida Gulf Coast at home. Spot we love to play. A couple things that I was looking at, too, from a player. I don't know how this matchup's going to look. Look, simply put, I look for those back-to-back spots where you lost and you come back home. You got to sit on back-to-back losses. You got the opportunity for things to get right. Neither one of these two, Florida Gulf Coast, 9-6 on the road, and they suffer those back-to-back losses. So I'm willing to surmise that that's just a little glitch in the system. They get back home, they get on home court, they get an opportunity to try to regulate things, figure out where the issues popped in, and then try to, again, with that defense, with that stymieing defense that they can play at home with that 4-8 to the under, we got a good shot here for these guys to cash. Just a quick bounce back spot is what it comes down to. They only played a couple days ago. They're looking to bounce back. And they got a good team on deck here to do it with in Jacksonville Dolphins, as you can see, one of the class of the conference. Not going to look past it. I think they're going to give them their full effort tonight. We're going to start this card off 6:30. Now, my love-hate relationship for the 6:30 games. Mostly hate. But it is what it is. Speaking of Lipscomb, yesterday we had mediocre conferences and bad teams. That's a bad recipe. Today, nobody asked me, but I'll tell you. I like the over in that Villanova-UConn game. Bellarmine against Austin P. Speaking of Austin P, I'd lean to Bellarmine in that spot. I already told you about the thoughts that I had. How about this one? I like Miami, Ohio. It's another 6:30 game, but the line just came back down. So it got cut. It became a first cut. It went from -5 to -4.5. That was a big trend going on in that game, too. When you look at some of the numbers that were out there for this Miami, max goals, back-to-back road games versus an opponent who just had a home game. Pretty simple. Back-to-back road games versus an opponent who just had a home game. Says play on Miami of Ohio. Eastern Michigan coming off that road warrior nature that is the map. Excuse me. I bit my tooth funny earlier today, and I can still feel it. Maybe it's in my head. I don't think so. I don't think it's in my head. I think it's in my fucking tooth. Lipscomb and East Kentucky, Eastern Kentucky, East Kentucky. I don't care what part of Kentucky it's from. It's going to be cash in our pocket. This line opened at 3.5. Home dogs in East Kentucky. Surprising until I looked at it and saw that there is a significant talent gap between these two teams. And now we see this 3.5's gone to 4. 68% of the bets, but 57% of the cash are on Eastern Kentucky. So what we've got now is pretty consistent, pretty smooth move, I guess, here, based on the fact that some of that bigger bets came in early on this Lipscomb team. And some of the books, some of the markets were pretty quick to react to it, and the rest of them would just kind of stay pat. This total's gone from 152.5 to 154.5. We have 87% of the bets and 88% of the cash on the over. And that was good enough to move it 2 points, which I think is the wrong move. East Kentucky's been battling, despite there is that talent gap, 5-0 their last 5 games. Lipscomb comes in this thing 5-0 in their last 5 games. East Kentucky on the road. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that thing. East Kentucky, Eastern Kentucky on their home court find themselves 5-6 against the spread. Lipscomb finds themselves 6-2 against the spread when they're on the road. And then you look at this total. Here's where the difference comes in. We talked about some of these last night where some teams have defense that can travel and other teams don't. And Lipscomb at 11-3 in the conference finds themselves in that position. East Kentucky 7-4 at home to the over. But Lipscomb, what they do incredibly well is they say, screw you, we're going to hold this ball. We're going to show you how we play clock-pounding defense. They're 3-11 to the under. Now, East Kentucky's gone over 4 of their last 5, predominantly because they're scoring. And they're scoring at a good clip right now, but here's where that talent gap comes into play. And Lipscomb, for all due respect, I mean, both these teams are coming in. This game's either going to be 100 or 200 points scored. You pick which one it is. I picked. I picked exactly where I thought this game was going to end. And, what it comes down to is how Lipscomb night games go against the conference. Night games conference, because they have time to practice. They're in their normal routine. Think about these kids. You get them out of their routine and they start playing a 12 p.m. game in the afternoon on Saturday. Shit, they might be hungover. They might have, I don't know, they might have been sleeping at their girl's house the night before. Who knows what they're doing? But it's that repetition and consistency in their habits and their systems that lead to these results. And so Lipscomb, 10 straight unders against the conference, and the total's been 153 or less. So we're right there. We're pegged right in. We got 154.5, 155.5 even at Pinnacle. So you can get some points on this one here. The best number that I came in here and cranked down was 154.5. It was low juice to it, -105. I do think that contrary to these teams running the over, that we see this Lipscomb team, win, lose, or draw. Well, they can't draw, but win or lose. Lipscomb will dictate the pace here. A lot of these plays tonight came off the Respected Better report as well. So that sharp better report that I keep talking to you guys about, one of those tools that we have in our disposal. And if you want to validate it, yeah, I mean, look, there's a lot of money coming in on the over. And I get it. At first glance, I totally understand why you would want to be in this spot. I'm not involved with this one here. I'm going to ride this Lipscomb train and take this under, and we're going to move on, keep this brisk pace here. How about that? Huh? We're 3 plays deep. We're at 625. We're going to go to an A10 game. A10 game alert. You know what that means. A10 game alert. We're running out of time. We're running out of time for the A10. Loyola Ramblers rolling here at plus 2.5. They got 98% of the bets and 81% of the cash believing in Sister Jean. Sister Jean still around? She's got to be 108 years old. 107 years old? Didn't they say that Chicago Bears owner, whatever her name was it Mary? I don't know, I'm guessing. She was 100. Was she 104 or 105? And then Sister Jean became the next one to bat up, clean up there in terms of the oldest lady in Chicago. I'm not making that up. I think that's what I heard. I might be making part of it up. I know they're old. I know she's old. But I know the A10s like to go under. And Davidson's sitting there, no, all that money coming in on Loyola. Line hasn't budged. Not one fucking nickel. But you know where we see some movement? 51% of the bets and 51% of the cash on the under. And the total went from 140.5 to 139.5. Is the secret out? Is the secret out? I don't know. I know the Davidson's just like that team that we talked about in Lipscomb, a pace dictator. I shouldn't say that too many times fast. Davidson is an under team. Davidson's last game against George Washington goes over the number. Barely. They got the hook, 141, which is huge. Because they're going to inflate this number arbitrarily based on the fact that when they look at the books say that last game went over. It did. It was a hook. But it went over. Then we go to the Loyola Ramblers here, Sister Jean and company, back-to-back overs in a conference that runs under, and they had dominated the under stretch prior to that. Another. Now, I was on St. Louis and Loyola under that last time. It's funny because sharp bettors were coming in and pounding in on St. Louis, and I stayed away from that St. Louis side. I just wanted to get back into my under. I should have just trusted the gut with going with the -2.5 home team. But we don't make a lot of money in the -2.5 range with the home team. So, digging this thing down, yeah, Davidson has a tremendous three-point or a free throw advantage. Should that be enough for them to get this win at the end? I mean, it's 75% to 63% on average. It's 12 points. Rolling down the line, the opportunity to stop the ball is Loyola with their turnover defense. They average almost 12 turnovers a game. Davidson is sitting around the 9 spot. And Loyola likes to steal the ball. They're averaging 6.5 steals a game to 5.8. So there's a couple of slight edges, but those edges to me keep me off the side, and I got to go back to the total. I mean, the free throws certainly should help Davidson get there at the end, but if Loyola comes out there and looks to revenge that, or keep things rolling, I should say, after that last game that they had, it's going to be Trouble City. I'm going to go with the play. I'm going to go right back to old reliable. Davidson has 16 straight unders when they're at home in conference games with teams that have less than 6 days rest, and they're between the threes. Think about that. Home court advantage. Teams are on their average rotation, and the books don't know who to make the favorite. Those are the spots that we look to hammer. We look to attack those opportunities. We're even buying, or we're selling high on Davidson's over. We're buying low, essentially, is what we're doing with that under up to that last game there. Give it to Davidson, 16-0, less than 6 days rest, and between the threes at home. Hell yeah, we're going to roll back to this thing, especially with both these teams just ripping off overs in a conference that loves to go under. We're not going to get dissuaded by that opportunity. There we go. Thanks, Virginia McCaskey, R.I.P. R.I.P. There's BB MMA Picks in the house. He says, join us before the live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. VB MMA Picks will preview that UFC Seattle, including the main event, Song Yadong. Big favorite in Song Yadong, plus 2 other fights. Then get ready for the guys on Kick. Shout out to VB MMA. Shout out to Ramon Scott. Them boys are doing a tremendous job. I tried to boost the metrics up tonight. I tried to boost those analytics up tonight. We'll see what it does. We'll see what it does for us here. Good luck to you gentlemen on the show tonight. Marcus McCarthy says no BYU versus Kansas. Well, guess what, Marcus? We're going live for that game, my friend. We are going live for that game, and we will break the shit out of that game down. Daddy Beats. Jerry Davis says, what's EKU in the new building? I'll have to check. Marcus McCarthy, what's up? Jerry Davis says, yeah, I'm on UConn over. I'm also on Walter Clayton Jr.'s 3 threes. I wish I could bet college player props. I guess it's probably good I can't, but I would. I'd like to. KD says, here's some team total unders. Colorado and Fresno State under 141 teaser. UConn over 151 Toledo. Thank you guys for sharing. 16 straight unders for this Davidson spot at home. When their opponent's coming in on less than 6 days rest, they're in their rhythm. Less than 6 days rest, and the books don't know who to make a favorite. Was the wrong team favorite in this game? Yeah, I see that 0-14 in the conference. Yeah, I see it. Wyoming sitting there 4-11 in the conference, though. Pump your brakes. You've seen me take shit teams 3 times in a row. Think this is going to be any different? 8:30 pop-off here. Respected bettors loading up on this Air Force team. This thing ran like 6 different sirens. Crazy. I had to double check to see I wasn't full of shit. And then, the thing about this game where I think they have an opportunity, I'm going out of sorts here, but I'm excited about this game because I think the wrong team's favored. And we got a boatload of points. Boatload of points in our back pocket here. And it's coming down. Here. First and foremost, you need to understand that Air Force on the road is an under team. What makes them an under team? Maybe it's some of that defense. Maybe some of that defense travels. Maybe some of their offense just sleeps and doesn't get off the plane or the bus. I don't know. But I'm jacked up for this one here. Air Force opened up at 10.5. It's moved to 8.5. Whoa, what do we got? And then where's that respected better action? 45% of the bets, 61% of the cash popping in on Air Force. And guess what the book said? Whoa. Do they know something? Correlating point? We got it moving to the over. 128.5 has moved as high as 131 with 51% of the bets and 52% of the cash on the over. I love my dogs and my overs. You guys have heard me talk about it time and again. And these are not equally bad teams. Not equally bad, but look, I don't think there's the elevation issues or benefits on either side, Air Force or Wyoming. It kind of neutralizes each other in that spot. Wyoming at home, 6-5 against the spread. But how about this? As bad as Air Force is, they're 4-7 against the spread on the road. So if you give enough points against a mediocre team, should they be able to go out there and get it done? I think so. And I talked about these unders for Air Force. I can get them for you guys real quick here. Air Force unders. Where did you go? Where? There you are. Air Force road unders. 108 to 85. 108 to 85 in favor of the under. But not so fast. This year, Air Force 7-4 to the over on the road. Bucking the trend, figuring out this offense, and they are overdue for something to happen in their favor. They have struggled and struggled and struggled and struggled and struggled. Colorado State, they get busted up 79-50. I mean, look, They get busted up everywhere they play. But the Sharps chose to come in and attack this Air Force spot with that plus 8.5. I have to respect it. Now, look, in the conference, yeah, it's not pretty. Air Force has lost 19 straight games, but there becomes that option. We talked about how it's tough to get to 3, it's tough to get to 5. Once they get to 10, I start looking for a reason to go the other way. And once they get to 20, I'm in. You had me at respected better. Now I see that there's this opportunity for 20 in a row. I think the wrong team's favorite. Maybe I got the sports almanac. Maybe I'm looking at a crystal ball. Maybe I was, I don't know. I don't know what's happening. But I know they're pretty average when it comes to three-point shooting. I know that free throws, I'll give the edge to Wyoming, which could hurt from the money line perspective at the end of the day. They have a 69% to 61% average benefit. They both shoot twos like shit, 42 to 43%. Where's the ball? Where's the opportunity? This kind of rolled back to what I was thinking about with the unders. The assists per game are 13.1 in favor of Air Force to 11.7 in favor of Wyoming. So when Air Force gets the ball, they like to hang on to it. They like to pass it around just a little bit more, just enough to chew some time off the clock and eat up that backdoor loss. They both average about 12 turnovers a game. They a slight rebounding edge to Wyoming, 31 to 27, but I'm good with it. I mean, everything down the line for these teams is, I mean, you can trade off one spot for the other across the board. Anytime there's an advantage for Air Force, there's a contrary point, a contradictory point, a balance out, if you will, a go even for Wyoming. I'm going to take the 8.5. I'm going to follow the Sharps. I'm going to jump in here. I may even sprinkle this money line. What is this money line? Speaking of, it's plus 360. Why not? I cashed a plus 375 in soccer today. Everybody thought it couldn't be done. Shout out to Benfica and them boys getting it done for us out there. Let's see. What else do we got? Yeah, I got shit to do. And then I want to get back here for you guys so we can get this thing rolling. I did add a play. I did add Western Michigan. 2 reasons. One, Buffalo's off. Everyone's betting on Buffalo, too, which is surprising because I just don't know. They just don't see how awful they are. I'd love to go to some UB games, both college football and college basketball. And my sister-in-law could probably get us some tickets. She's involved with the organization. But they fucking stink. Plus 1.5, they're now plus 2. They got 91% of the bets and 77% of the cash coming in on Buffalo. The totals moved up from 153.5 to 155.5. We have 50% of the bets and 51% of the cash on the over. So there is a little bit of movement to this over. I don't know if I'm buying it. Buffalo against the spread at home, 3-7. That's why I'm not going to those. If I'm going to the game, I'm probably betting on. Well, I'm betting on it one way or the other. Used to be a time where you could bet Buffalo to lose the first half and win the second half. And then the following season, this is back in the Nate Oates era, before Alabama plucked him away, brought him to greener pastures. Buffalo was leading Bowling Green at home almost the entire game. They were plus 1.5 point dogs. They ended up losing at the end, 63 to 59. They had their big win. They beat NIU. Northern Illinois, by the way, getting a boatload of points against Akron Zips tonight. Might not be enough. We'll see. That's too many points for me. I'm not going to mess with that one. But some of those other games like Marquette, I wouldn't hesitate dropping that 17.5. I think it's just an advantage opportunity. With that being said, Buffalo gets their win at Northern Illinois. And if you don't know, that Buffalo Northern Illinois, that's got to be the biggest battle for Buffalo. That's got to be their conference rival. It's at least my conference rival with these teams because every time Buffalo has a game of relevance, it's Northern Illinois that's on deck, whether it be the MAC and when Buffalo Bulls made the football championship and they had NIU and NIU gassed them to win the MAC. Basketball games as well. And we saw this one was a battle at NIU. Western Michigan comes off a 78-70 win against Miami, Ohio. battled against Akron. They were able to cover the spread, but man, this is where they can go out there, and this is where Buffalo's in trouble because they can just put up points. 105-92 at Akron. And the other team's barn getting 14.5 points. They put up almost 100 spot themselves. That game there probably will have more points in it than the LA Lakers and Charlotte Hornets game tomorrow night. That's what Western Michigan can do for you. They're splitting field goals. Buffalo can make more three-pointers, but here's the thing. Buffalo's down so many times in games that they're forced to be throwing three-pointers. It's the 4-point rebound edge that Western Michigan has that says when they do get down and they do start throwing those three-pointers, they're in trouble. Ain't going to be pretty for them, boys. Respected Bet report came through and was showing Western Michigan. Got to recognize that. And last but not least, I mean, here's a big one for us. Road favorites. This is the spot. We love these spots. We love these spots. Better stop. Don't get me started. Maybe tonight I'll share some of that. Road favorites avenging a same season home loss as a favorite. It works in hockey. We talk about it all the time. You lost at home as a favorite. Now you go on the road, you're a favorite. And what happens in college basketball when that situation occurs? 28-18 is the team that's avenging the loss. That's Western Michigan. That's why the Sharps are fighting in on this thing. Makes a lot of sense. It's a low number, and Buffalo's a bad team. Let's jump in. Western Michigan. We'll get a little action in our lives tonight. And, look, I'd play the 2. Wouldn't worry about it. I keep your vig down. If you can find a -1.5, it's good. It's good. No sense to pay the -130. I don't think Buffalo's going to stay alive in this one for very long. -2, I got it -110 in that spot. Houston, Arizona State. 2 games left. Just 2 on the card. Keeping this brisk pace. Some other games I would look at are North Florida to the over. I like that Central Arkansas Queens game to the under. A lot of points. Line's moving down. I wouldn't lay 16.5 with Northern Alabama. No, I wouldn't lay 16.5 with anybody in the conference. No chance. Kind of like TCU. I kind of like the Horned Frogs. I don't like the name. I don't know what a fucking Horned Frog is, but I don't like the name. And I do like the team. +7. Another spot, I don't think the wrong team's favored, but man, we've seen Texas Tech go on the road and lay up some stinkers. I like the -18.5 with Iowa State. I like it. I'd lay it. Xavier Butler, I'd probably be considered the over. I don't like 152.5. Just not enough points for me to get excited. I'm going to be on Tennessee Martin. I just want to see what this line's going to do. I have a feeling this line's going to drop to 2. Why do I say that? Because 96% of the public loves Tennessee State, Keith. Public loves them. 73% of the bets on Tennessee State. It's +2.5 at even money. I don't know. It's an 8:30 start. The thing that had me going for this Tennessee Martin team, I mean, they're firing on all cylinders right now. They just had back-to-back road games. Now they won those games. I'm not going to use that against them. They've covered their last 3. They've won their last 3. And Tennessee State had their stretch. They won 4. They just dropped that one to SIU Edwardsville. If you want to look at SIU Edwardsville, Tennessee Martin just played SIU Edwardsville, 76-71. They beat them in their own barn as a 5.5-point dog. Tennessee State was just in their barn. They were a 4.5-point dog. They lost outright by 12. I know the latter game, who just played who and how that works out doesn't necessarily lead to results, but Houston and Arizona State are battling. And how about Houston, man? Firing. They beat up that Arizona team on the road. A lot of people like Arizona. Don't be fading these Cougars, man. Stop it. I got 3 teams for you guys for futures consideration. I gave you already Texas A&M. I believe in Texas A&M. I'm going to give you Clemson. The ACC is awful. Clemson's beating up some of the best in the division. In fact, they handed Duke their only conference loss. I like some Clemson. And I like Houston. I'm not going to put I'm not really saying anything too innovative there by talking about Houston, but this defense is tops in the college basketball ranks 21-4, 13-1 in their conference. They're beating the shit out of everybody. Just went into Arizona, got Wildcat country, took a big bite out of that cat. Now they got the Sun Devils. Minus 11.5 have moved to minus 12. 67% of the bets and 72% of the cash coming in on Houston. It's gone from 11.5 to 12. Because they know Belt is going to cheek tonight for this Arizona State team. It's going to be ugly. And you got 75% of the bets and 76% of the cash on the over. And guess what's not happening? It's not moving. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be ugly. This is that patented Houston and the first half under. Arizona State. I was looking at Arizona State's first half team total under. What kept me off is the fact that Houston's on the road. Now, you know, you can say, well, they just did it to Arizona. Yeah, but, I mean, all in all in that game, yeah, I guess they did. 62-58 overall. It was a sweat. There's nothing that makes me want to back Arizona State. Nothing. They're bad. They lose everywhere. They lost to TCU 74-70. They lost to Texas Tech 111-106. I don't know how the fuck they scored 106 points. Texas Tech's bad. We've seen Texas Tech put up stinkers, I guess is what that comes down to. Oak State 86-73. They lost to K-State 71-70. They were 3-point favorites, though. Lost in that game. They got busted up by 9 to an Arizona team where they were getting 6.5. These games are going over because their offense or their defense is that bad. I think we have a script changer here, though, for this one here because, you know, I've been riding these when the spot makes sense. We've been fitting them in there, and we've got intersecting zeros. So nothing makes more sense than intersecting zeros, right? We don't just want to fade a team because they're 11-0 to the under in Arizona State when they're not a dog of more than 16.5 points versus a team that averages less than 11 turnovers. That just says when it's not expected to be a blowout. That means that when it's not expected to be a blowout, the other team's probably not going to their second string players too early in the game, and they're not turning the ball over, so they're just not getting overs. And they're going under by 12 points a game in those spots. But we look for the corollary. We look for the connection, and the connection is Houston. And Houston finds themselves in a 14-0 under spot. Favorite, not expected to torch them, less than 5 days rest after a game between the threes. And those games are going under by 10 points a game as well. It's Houston. It's under. It's short. It's sweet. Yeah, there's some issues going on out there. Javier Francis will be the question. He's got a concussion. He's probable for Houston. He's one of the big forwards out there, but I don't think it's going to matter. You know, again, Arizona State's got that Buffalo problem. Now, the difference is they don't make a lot of their threes. They're 9 for 25 from the threes. They're averaging 5 more a game than Houston, but it's because they're down a lot. And because they're down a lot, they have to go out there and try to, produce results. They turn the ball over a shitload, 12.8 average to 8.5. And then Houston's got the steal advantage on them. So I love this area. I think this is a great spot to get invested here with the first half team total under for Arizona State. You know, look at this. I'm on this Houston full game under. I look at this first half under as well. I mean, there's a lot of ways to get invested with this game here. I think this is a great opportunity, especially with back-to-back road games for Houston. It's like, all right, let's buckle down. Let's get it right, and then let's go home and let's get ready for, the conference tournament coming up here. Give it to me. Give me that spot with Houston. I think that's good money for us. And then we got one game left on deck. Just uno. Okay, we'll talk Kansas BYU tonight. We'll talk Seton Hall Marquette tonight. Might want to get on Marquette before that number gets any more wide. Virginia Tech, Boston College we'll talk tonight. UCLA and Minnesota. We'll talk Fresno State, San Diego State. Battle of the States. I'm looking at Nevada. Last game on the docket for me, 9 p.m. start. Nevada, Colorado State, Nevada. Nevada? Is it Nevada? Nevada was plus 4.5. They're now plus 3.5. 62% of the bets and 62% of the cash have come in on the road dog. Public likes their road dogs. This total's gone from 137.5 down to 137. So a little bit of a tell. Just a slight tell. We have 88% of the bets and 88% of the cash leaning to the over. And yet it's coming down. Should be a good game. Colorado State. This team's capable of going out there and shutting good schools down. They're also capable of going out there and getting the barn doors ripped off. They wake up the next morning, they're like, where are our cheerleaders? Oh, the other team took them. What do you mean they took them? Utah State, they're at Utah State. It's 93-85. They lose as 7.5-point dogs. Tight game, but didn't cover. And they're a win one, lose one team. That's what I'm saying. You don't know what the hell team's going to show up. Yeah, they cover 16 on Air Force. Colorado State is not Wyoming. Don't make any mistake between these two teams. Yeah, I'm picking on Air Force because they're bad, but so is Wyoming. We talked about that. The New Mexico game, they're getting 8.5 points at New Mexico. They shit the bed. They lost by 22. So you just don't know. San Diego State, 68-63. They were laying 3. They cover by 2. Who's going to show up for the game? But Nevada has flipped the switch, and that's what tournament teams do this time of the year. What's wrong with the Wolfpack? Nothing is wrong with the Wolfpack. They've gone 4 straight wins, 4 straight covers. Yeah, there's that Air Force team. They busted up Air Force. But you can only play those in your conference. It's not use Air Force against them. They kicked the absolute shit out of Fresno, 94-69. They walloped on San Jose State. They busted up UNLV. I mean, you name it, they're beating up the big dogs in the conference, and it makes a lot of sense. Bottom line is Nevada's got themselves a little trend of the unders rolling here. 19-7 are Nevada. After the opponent was just a favorite. How about that? Opponent comes in as a 10.5-point favorite to Wyoming. Those bad Cowboys, they busted them up by 35 points. That's how bad Wyoming is. Colorado State ripped them apart by 35 points. But when they're a favorite the previous game and they play a team like Nevada, it's 19-7 in favor of the under. Almost 3-1. Almost. Not quite, but almost. I think Nevada is very much live in this game. You're seeing that numbers moving against them right now. It's correlated to the money line as well. The plus 4.5 has gone to plus 3.5. The plus 146 has gone to plus 143. I'm in on this under. You get yourself a 137.5. Let me see what the number was that I picked up on this thing. 137.5. And it's no juice. I mean, small juice, minus 105. So a minus 105 spot on Colorado State under 137.5. Under 134.5 in Houston. Again, minus 105. We're going to have some great ROI if this thing's going to come through tonight. Air Force Academy plus 8.5 was minus 102. Davidson under 140.5 was minus 115. Got juiced out a little bit on that one. Western Michigan minus 2 at minus 110. And Lipscomb under 154.5 at minus 105. Last but not least was Florida Gulf Coast minus 2.5 at minus 115. Excuse me. Here's what we got to do. We got to get to work. You guys, get those bets placed. 8 p.m. 8 p.m., you guys. Check out BB, MMA, and Ramon Scott. UFC Seattle. We are stepping ahead in the commitment to the combat sports arena. And again, we're just another big cash out this past weekend. You got to focus in on what you're doing best at, and it happens to be UFC. In fact, nobody does it better than this sports money team here. A lot of people are good at it. A lot of people are good at UFC. Sports Money's got a lot of good people. You can check out VB, MMA, and Ramon Scott at 8. Catch us live for Kick at 9 p.m. We're going to get going on the rest of this late night college basketball card. Tomorrow we'll be rolling with the morning steam at 9 a.m. You'll see Pregaming at 6 p.m. We'll have First Strike out there by 10 p.m. And then we're on Thursday with the big USA-Canada battle. You think we're going to see a fight in the first 10 minutes? I put a poll out there. Yes or no option on the post page. Good luck with everybody's bets tonight. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you real soon on behalf of Sports Money.